Yo! Wait, what a disparity of comments. Chuck Norris died, rest in peace. Chuck Norris died, thank God. Why thank God? Was he problematic? Turn a right wing chud. Yeah, but he's not for a human being. I mean, Knox, give me a question mark on that. Just means you spend more time on the internet than I do. You, don't be a cock when people are like, "Hey, what did this person do?" Crazy. Because also, I think it's kind of messed up to wish death on someone unless they're really just fucking, unless they've done like some sort of crazy shit like SA, murdered someone, etc. Like that. Then I think it's a pretty fucked up stance. Nagato, thanks so much for the 35 months. I appreciate it. You don't have to mourn them, but I don't know. I don't fucking follow. Like, mate, your country's filled with right-wing chuds. You know what I mean? Your country's filled with them. Half your celebrities are either paedophiles or right-wing grifters. Sorry for not keeping up with all of them. Jesus. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. How are we doing? How are we doing? We haven't got a long stream today, chat, because I've got to catch a train in 2.5 hours, so we'll go pretty fast into whatever we do. Although, I imagine there's some stuff to check out. Yeah. Well, you know, we don't mourn the guy then, but I don't know. I feel like I just don't. Last train to London? No, 4 p.m. train to my parents' house. It's less. More on the memes, not the man, yeah. That's good. That's a powerful statement. BBG was silly fun yesterday. I agree. It was fun. I think it's going to take us a couple of weeks to get out of this whole weird transition from daylight savings, because they'll forget a couple of times about like setting stuff up. So it'll be, I want to say next week will be 3 hours, and hopefully it will be, but you know, what was that D&D one called? Dungeonal? You know it, Max. What was it called? But I think what we've done with like the last couple episodes has been really fun. Monster, that's the one, man. We what else was I gonna say? The guest star for Jesse and Crendor looks to be the 2nd and potentially the 9th as well. As we're going off. I just think it's better week on week, like the way it's going. Thank you. I think we're getting even more sure-footed and lots of fun adventures coming up. They haven't had a fight in a little while, so a fight will come up soon. I mean, they can skip it. But, yeah. We'll see. Seems unlikely, yeah. With that crew. But we should have Jesse and Crendor joining us on the 2nd. Also, Mark's book, I actually forgot to message them. But their book hit 700k before ending its Kickstarter. How crazy is that? As soon as the gimmick off last session, we knew why you took off yesterday. Yeah, dude. Do you know what it was? It was the night before. I wasn't feeling super inspired the night before, the night of Wednesday, about where I was taking BBG for next episode. And I was like, man, no, I want to come up with something more fun. And I kind of, just before getting into bed, I came up with it. And I was like, it's too late, though, to start designing this and work out how it works. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend tomorrow doing BBG stuff instead. And I'm glad I did. It was a fun concept. Not to spoil it for those who didn't see, but we did like a Guess Who. Yeah, pretty crazy, huh? Okay. Let me get up on screen. So it's that camping setting guide. And then 71,000. 71,000. Oh, I just dropped out my biscuit on the floor, man. I imagine they needed probably like, what, like to make this book properly? 80k? 100k maybe? No, 80k maybe? Mostly roll and play at MCM, yeah. Yeah, they probably needed probably around 80k, I imagine. So they smashed it. Probably, give or take, they probably earned 10 times the amount they asked for or wanted for. So I don't want to my mouthful. Oberon, thanks so much for the 20 months. So cool, though. So cool. I can't wait to pick up and see what happens inside. They've done a great job on this. This looks great. Yeah, so they smashed it. 28 times, yeah. So the reason that you asked for... this is something I learned from... I think Brett taught me this. The reason you ask for a low goal... is because... why would I start a sentence and then put something true in my mouth? You ask for low goals so that, yeah, you get on the front page easier. Exactly. Yeah. Because they show you, like, saying, has now hit 10 times their goal. Now has hit this because of this. Yeah, it's based on their current campaign setting. You know, seeing Brett and Mark do these, it's inspiring me to do one at some point. They've got a much bigger community. High rollers, but yeah, reach goal within 20. Yeah, exactly. I've got 3 ideas for a book, and I would love to do them. Obviously, well, technically I have 4. I do think both Mistletoe and Big Bad Evil Gang, I'd probably do Big Bad Evil Gang first, work better as a clean... like, I know if I take the Forged books and I do a Forged trilogy, like campaign setting guide, showing off Sun Forge, God Forge, all that kind of stuff, right? The idea yesterday with who was it was really good. Might just do that. Thank you, Grim. if I do a kind of a campaign setting guide of those, I mean, I look at this, right? A lot of people buy. The cool thing about D&D books is you get your initial viewers and fans might buy the initial books, but then it kind of gets into the global market. And there's a lot of people who, I said this to Jinx, a lot of people just want to have more stuff, more books to read, more information to draw upon, items, classes, monsters, all sorts. So I was considering it, and I was like, the Forge books I think would be awesome to write for, and it's my most in-depth series, but technically, it doesn't show off something super unique in terms of like, it's still, hey, coming to my little fantasy. I think Big Bad Evil Gang would make a good book in terms of how to run a villain campaign, how to run a kind of a funnier campaign, all of the different kind of like species you could be, and then describing a little passage about how you can actually choose anything from the book. Just take these portions of them, build a system for how you design something into a player race. Some subclasses that fit villainry, all that kind of stuff I think we could do really well. And then, maybe even have a heroes chapter at the end, which is like heroes to kill instead of the monster book. It becomes, heroes at the end to kill. I think that could be quite a fun book. Easy for one shot, yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be good. I think that'd make a good campaign setting guide. A big villain book. So I'd love to do that. And then the other one I want to do, but I'm not going to spoil what I want to do with it because, I don't want someone to steal the idea, but I want to do a monster book, and I've got a cool idea for a monster book in my mind. But I feel like the monster book, I thought about this, like people like Sushi in the chat. I was like, if I ever get around to this, maybe I'll just find 2 artists, maybe 3, and we all just split the money. Depending on workload, of course, but we split the money and we just go, hey, we go into this together. We push it and then we just split whatever we get. Because it would, outside of any external business stuff, it'd be equal amounts of work to design all of these creatures and then have them drawn up. So it makes sense teaming up with artists for it. You just finished subclasses, 3 subclasses for each class. That's very good. That's very good. Is that going to be on D&D Homebrew, or are you doing it on Kickstarter? Or you're not selling it? Oh, I'll tell you what, actually, this reminds me of this. There's a funny version of this game. I'll work out after we get this on. Sulik. Let's just get some letters then. Hoppy. Oh, it's got 3 vowels, this word. Okay. Let me get some more letters because I'm actually a little bit lost. Let me go to this. Labia. Okay. That's where the A is. It's gonna be a word like radio where it's IO at the end. Let me put X's in. I'm gonna take a risk here just to see if I... Wait, I can be... No, I fucked up. I fucked up. I don't know why I did that. I didn't think before I typed it. I was going to write cardio and then see if the O was at the end and then I could have worked out. I fucked myself. I might be totally off here then. Masio. I fucked it, I think. Valio. I don't think there's a word I can think of. Oh, L wouldn't even go there anyway. Vamio. Am I? Maybe the O doesn't go there? A-O-I? That's not going to be a word. No, I feel like it has to. I give up. What is it? My brain did not even go close to Oasis. Yeah, I wouldn't have got that. Long time since you failed this? I know. I did see, I don't know if anyone else can find this because I can't find this. There's another one where you have to name someone's cat. I think it's this one. No. You get a picture. A doctor. I think it might be this one. Yes, it is. This is... Fucking hell, that's hard. Balala. Wait, it has to be an actual real name. What do you think? Stormy? Good choice. Brian's not long enough. Frosty. We can try and get some other letters in there. This one's really fucking hard now. It won't work. You have to... Wait, Brian's a real word? Oh. Huggies. What the fuck are cats called? 6 letters is so much harder. I met a single Bryant. Hoppy. Do you know what? I hate this cat. What are you called? Show the cat. Charlie for letters. Good job. Good. Nope, doesn't fit. Too long. Okay, I'll go for Charlie like that. Okay. Cooley. Okay. You think Clooney? I can't. Cloovy? Was that a name? Kloopy? Kloogie. Clowny? There's no N. You can't have N. Cluey. Clocky. Cloudy. And I'm adoptable. I am cloudy. Very good. Good job. Cuttle. See the shapes. Go from here. And slice. Ready? Like this. Damn it! How you guessing that shit, Forzy? It's pissing me off. That, oh man, that looks so clean. I think I had to go here, didn't I? Alright, monster door. I said I'd start with something standard. We should start with a roper. Let's try it. A roper, a noper. Lower than that, it's not large. Probably going to be medium. We'll see. A no. Okay. So it's medium. It's bigger than CR there. Okay. It can walk and something, which is tough. And it's a spellcaster. Mage, I think, is a... Okay, no, it's all going to be just monster-based. Okay. A spellcaster and CR3. Cultist of some kind. No. They don't care that. Okay. We go like... I'm just going to throw in something like this just to see. Okay. We're up in the 3s. Three or 4. And it has to cast spells. Ah, Ghost is not a spellcaster though. How about a Helmed Horror? Okay, CR4 is right. Walk and fly. Okay. Let me see here. We're looking at the 4s. I think it's probably going to be like a... It makes sense if it's a fiend. For why they can cast spells. Incubus? Interesting. What's the description? Benevolent serpentine beings of great intellect and insight. Oh. It's not those ones. It's Kuroto, yeah. Yeah. Would have taken me ages to get to Celestial. Okay. What else would they have told you? I wish it would have told you. Spell duel. We start with Fireball. Holy shit, okay. We'll go Command. No damage, okay. Cleric Paladin. One of them gets it, okay. We'll go for less Restoration. Okay. Has to be concentration though, okay. Level 2 concentration spell that I can't think of. There's no damage to aid? Oh, that'd be abjuration, so yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. I think it's augury. I don't think it's concentration. It's divination, though. We'll see if it's divination. Okay. Because it's ritual as well. Reveal the first letter, S. That kind of makes it way too easy, I feel like. We should be able to get it immediately now. See invisibility. I don't think you're a ritual, but maybe you are. It's concentration, I think. No damage, second level. No, it's divination though. Shadow Blade, no. No. Silence. I don't think that's Skyrite. No. Spider Climb. Oh, transmutation. Second level, no damage. I don't think it's a ritual though. The ritual bit's the bits that throw me off the most. Okay, well, we've gone past it. No. Okay, hold on. What did I go past which I missed? Let's see. Not a ritual. Not a ritual. Oh, so second level. Scorching Rain, not a ritual. It's invisibility. Maybe it is ritual. It's divination. I said this earlier. I'm like forgetting my own rules. I don't know what silence would be. Skyrite? Okay, give me the second letter. S-I... Is it silence? Is it really silence? I suppose it makes sense it's a ritual. Condition means it inflicts sign? Yeah, I should have thought about that too. Alright. We got cooked there. Image. Will-o-wisp. Been looking at that image recently. I remember it. Alright, we'll pull 10 cards, chat. Or we'll pull till we get the golden one. 2006 in New Zealand, yeah, clean. List of oldest church buildings. Good, okay. We'll pull till the golden one. We're not going to turn this into a... I only have limited time today. Mimir! That's a sick one. Any dictators? I don't know enough about Ivan the Third. Okay, and then this one. Massachusetts 1st Congressional District. Very nice. Yeah, good. Okay, no good cards. What's your biggest card? Biggest in terms of damage or biggest in terms of rarity? I got this. I immediately got this. Hold on. John Goodman. And voice of Buzz Lightyear. What's his name? Tim Allen. That's right. I think my most famous card is League of Legends. I can hear Jinx screaming over thingy. That was ease. Sometimes they just do. Okay. We'll do this. Okay, here we go. It in my way. It's my... Is that really what they're looking for? Just make sure, yeah. Okay, it's... Story of my life. I think it's story of my life. It's harder than life. I think it's harder than life. Let me see. Larger. Fuck, I'm an idiot. I was thinking of the porn version. First word in this title. Live your life. Hey. I don't know how to save a life. It's a ball, but the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. I imagine it's time of your life. Do 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 do. Na na na. Give me the next letter. Charmed. Save me. Come. Na 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 na. Bring me up. Bring me. Yep, okay, bring. C'est la vie. I thought it's c'est la vie, so. C'est la vie? But it says in French. Is it c'est la vie? C'est la vie. Let me go here first. It's a hard knock life. Yeah, it must be. C'est. Oh. Very close. I should have got charmed. And then larger in life, I fucked up. I said harder than life. Pretty good. Not bad. All right. Pretty good one today. This movie was shit. That movie sucked ass. In comparison to the first one. It's kind of one of those. Was all right. Oh, I didn't. Just kind of forgettable to me. Baby Dory. Yeah, that's always cute. Word out. Thank you so much for the 40 months, my dude. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Are we close to 600 again? Hopefully. We'll see. We definitely watched the Spider-Man one. Yeah, we saw that. We just seen any trailer didn't come up until like yesterday and today. So no trailers. Let's talk about Crimson Desert, chat. I don't think it's worth picking up. From what I've heard, the little I've seen's been okay, but with context, I don't think it's worth grabbing. We're 6 subs away from 600. It's very. I've liked what I've seen. The problem I've heard about it, yeah, I've heard the controls are bad. The story is abysmal. I've seen someone describe it like Two Worlds, and I think Two Worlds was the worst game I've ever played. For a budgeted game. I think playing an MMO on your own is awful. They've had an advertised good story? Sure. But apparently the questing is just like MMO on your own, which I think sounds terrible. I think we've already seen Jesus Simulator trailer, yeah. It's like where it means, yeah, I don't think I want to play an MMO on my own. I think MMOs get away with mediocre questing and kind of just grinding because you are in a social world. No, but no, but that's I'm listing off all the bad things, Levo. Not just that. I'm right now. I'm telling you that the open world exploration being MMO like sounds awful. Crichton described it as it sounds like an MMO that they turn into a single player experience, and that sounds fucking abysmal to me. Two Worlds was genuinely the worst game I picked up on with some hype because it was just. I remember getting given like go kill 10 of these, go kill 10 of these, and I'm like that is. New World, for example. New World is the opposite way around. Survival game that turned into an MMO. And I just think if you've changed your massive genre, I don't know. I'm sure there's some people who enjoy it. Like if you're into a RuneScape and shit, maybe. But the more I'm hearing about it, the more reviews I'm seeing, the more I'm hearing it is just you walk around in a world, interact with it. It kind of feels more like a tech demo with MMO questing. Which just baffles my mind why they didn't even grab, like... Why didn't they grab any Like, they should have grabbed some RPG mechanics in something. It being a huge sandbox. I just feel like a sandbox without any purpose sounds really boring as hell. Like what they did to Kingdom MMO, that makes sense. Two Worlds was like a worse Kingdom MMO. Yeah, I don't know. I do think we won't hear about this game in a week. And that's a shame. And then the combat looks fun. And I think the general kind of running into creatures and stuff is cool. The best parts? Yeah, but I feel like BDO... I think questing is really bad. I think MMO questing is some of the worst questing, and I think it's designed that way just to slow you down, keep up a pace to other players, and create this feeling of a greater world. But even in an MMO like BDO, at least you're building up your character. Of course they are, Nigo. It's 70 quid. People get really touchy over that. Like they need something to be the next big game. This game is not going to be spoken about in a week. It's another Dragon's Dogma 2 situation. Everyone lost their goddamn minds over that. There was so many people saying like, I think it's really good on the first couple of days, and then they didn't do anything. Release date, I'm going to just skip the trailer and go straight to the release date. And it's a shame, because I feel like there's a few things that seem fixable about it to me. April 21st, that's good. You enjoy questing? Sure, but I feel like, isn't it because there's slightly a social element to it? Like, you don't have to play with someone, but knowing that like there's a full world around you. And also, MMOs do have, they have RPG mechanics. I think this one is kind of sound like it's really sort of player. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so would you play through World of Warcraft on your own? If they took out all the RPG elements as well, I just feel like you would. Okay, I would say you're extremely unique then, Levo, because the reality is, I would much rather someone create a crest. Like to me, I genuinely do stand on the stance that something is better here. If someone says go and kill 50 boars versus someone gives me an actual bit of a story, tells me that this dungeon is dangerous, to explore it, there's something unique and cool inside, I think the latter is always going to be better than the former for me, by like a vast degree of skill from the developer and creativity. 30 to 50, yeah. I don't know. At that point, I'm kind of like, someone wrote it in. It's a bit like a scary movie to me, The question was heavy MMO. Yeah, I think MMO questing is just... It's mostly designed to slow you down and make you stick in an area. And I don't know. I prefer when my time is respected, for sure. I don't think it's got those kind of quests. Well, a lot of the questing is very generic. I don't see myself playing a open world game like that unless it's done something kind of new. And it sounds like it's Breath of the Wild, but worse. And The Witcher, but worse. Etc. These are just the bits I've seen. It looks fun and interactable. But I don't think £70 ever worth an exploration. Because I feel like you got give me something to explore for. Let me go down that deep dungeon and get something at the end. Compared to Witcher at all? Well, in terms of open world, well, the fighting's kind of more like Batman Witchery. Lock on and stuff, right? So, yeah. CD reviews all talk about story being non-existent, so you won't get anything from that portion of the game. Yeah. Frosty Bear, thanks so much for the 6 months. And I do think they did advertise the story a little bit. They showed cutscenes and stuff. They didn't act like they didn't have a story. They advertised those dungeons, but what do you get at the end of those dungeons? Loot, but I've heard the RPG elements are like non-existent. It's not an RPG. You're not really building up a character and stuff. What's the loot like then? Because the little bits I saw of someone showing their inventory seem really bad. And I've been told it's bad. Yeah, mostly skill points. Yeah, and is that like small percentile increases? It's disappointing, man. I think they could have built a. They had the foundations to build a good game. Like a really good RPG, I should say. You have to throw away stuff since it doesn't fit anymore. You have no chest for inventory? Yeah, it feels tech demo-y. It does feel tech demo-y. Comes from factions. And they achieved what they wanted. I mean, we'll just agree to disagree on there. I don't think they achieved what they wanted entirely, because I feel like it's not being reviewed super well. So it sounds like something dropped. Need to iron out stuff, yeah. I think you're in a copium state, Levo. Doing Christmas lessons later. I'm explaining why I'm not going to buy that game. I'm confused by it. Yeah, we looked at that yesterday, Max. Looks that bad? No, but I feel like it looks. It's like if they'd taken one portion out and put it into one other aspect, I think they would have had a stellar game. I will say this, chat. It's going to be like Dragon's Dogma 2. I don't think we'll be having this conversation in 1 week from now. Dragon's Dogma 2 had all of this discourse and more, and that game died out in a week. No one spoke about it. I didn't see a single message on Twitch about Dragon's Dogma 2 after the first week. And it sucked. Because it was... I love Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, but you have to admit, like, the internet died over it really fast. Because it didn't live up to everyone's expectations. Thank you so much for the tier 2 at 72 months, Crab Knight. God damn, dude. The cycle never ends. Dark Horizon still, yeah. I mean, hopefully, whatever Crimson Desert does next, they hire a good writer. An easy way to sell it is just have some good story in there. But the story's atrocious. Like, the bits I saw of it, and then I was getting explained to it last night by a couple people that are like, just ignore it. Just go to do exploring. I'm like, what? Why did they even bother making one? Then DD2 didn't get supported like at all. If they actually support with updates, it might live on. It's going to be GTA 6 for Game of the Year. I've seen some people act like that. Yeah, maybe. But I feel like a week in, I feel like a lot of these other RPGs, like Resident Evil's still being spoken about. When did Resident Evil 9 come out? 27th of Feb. Nearly a month ago. And people are still talking about Resident Evil, discussing different portions of it. I see loads of people talking about it. So if it survives the couple of weeks, then fair enough. I'll admit I'm wrong, but I just see it going the way of, like, I remember Dragon's Dogma 2 died in a week. In 2 months, the majority of the Guna mods are out. True. Think of Dark Souls and Elden Ring, I've sprinkled it over. They have a pretty good foundational stories, though, Dress. No, you're right. You're right, Selvik. You are right. I don't know. I think if they do their next game, hire a good writer, and you are probably in for a banger. Because I think the game looks great, and the world looks great, and hopefully they use it as a stepping stone. But maybe not. They might not. It's an important part. I mean, for you. You can't sit there and say that it's not an aspect they try to sell. What's a good example of this? I mean, just using the game. They hired voice actors. They wrote a big story. They have cutscenes. They have a whole through-line main story. Did they say the story wasn't like one of their major things, though? Did they say priority doesn't mean necessarily it's not an important aspect? First game of Dark Souls to read a lot. Yeah, but this one's a bit bogged down with cutscenes. They're a bit crazy. They're right and put me off. Yeah. Zelda, I think, gets away with less story, though, because it's Zelda, right? And I think it's the silliness of Nintendo that can get away with it. It's less... it's like judging Valheim for having a bad story. No, it's not. I think Ko's wrong on that. Valheim didn't put any of the effort into... Valheim's story was super, super basic. Crimson Desert's hired voice actors to come into a studio. It's had a writing team sit down. It's made cutscenes. It's had cinematic advisors. There's absolutely no way you can compare it to two devs who didn't do anything. Exactly? No, that's not... It's not the same. They've literally... If you get any voice actors into your booth... and start actually writing a story, making cutscenes and stuff. You've designed a story. Because you can say you could take loads of games that haven't actually made any story. Is Avowed fixed? Is it? Is it good now? I feel like the foundations of Avowed were the problem. Some of the exploration was the set pieces. Sure, they have that in both. Sure, Levo, but at the same time, you didn't really have that in terms of like they've definitely that's storytelling. Voice actors in sandbox is storytelling. Environmental storytelling is just important. I mean, they've actually got cutscenes. There's a main story. Can you play through an entire main story that they've voice acted, that they've had cutscened up, and they've cinematic? Then yeah, I think they, they put some focus on story. I think if you went into that game that was just thrown into an open world and you kind of dived in there, then I think it's less. It's more because it's cheesy shit as opposed to like vague. Isn't the main focus? Sure, but you can still be criticized for the story then, because I do think a lot of people play open world games for story. Not just for story, but they want the story to drive them. If you took out any storytelling from Elder Scrolls, a lot of the game falls a little bit short. Yes, the devs might have come up with a story later. They might have gone, all right, we've designed this cool cave and this really fun puzzle in there. And you have to write a story for it, but it gives you that extra thing. They might have served better if they just did the background story like Dark Souls and Elden Ring. Then they wouldn't have gotten as much shit. Because a lot of people just say, like, with those kind of games. You're not afraid to say you didn't like the last two Zelda? Yeah, a lot of people have actually split up on that. Yeah, sorry, it sucked. I've heard Fallout 76 is good now. So maybe they'll improve it. But outside of the story, I think just genuinely... For me, it needs to hit rather one or two foundations: story or RPG for an open world game, or trying to tell something new. You know, and what I've seen is it's jack of all trades, master of none. And I think that's tech demoing. But I think maybe if they do another game, it'll probably get to that point. It always feels like when you make your first game. Although Cyberpunk had a lot of issues on launch, maybe it'll get more updates. But I do see it going the way of Dragon's Dogma. Which is a shame. If it does. Skyfire is an adventure game, but I don't really agree with that. Broken and complete game, yeah. It's true. I was talking to Jinx about this. Apparently the DLC for Cyberpunk's really, really good. I haven't done it. This is the opposite. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm hoping Fable's good. It's fantastic. I should play it. She was going to play it soon. Because I never even did Blood and Wine, by the way. Worth a new playthrough just to play. Can you get straight to that? Blood and Wine is awesome. Yeah, at this point, I might just watch Blood and Wine. You can. Yeah. The problem is Blood and Wine came out for me when I did everything The Witcher 3, so I completely forgot how to play into it. Oh, they have a way to jump straight in. Witcher 3 might be a bit too dated now, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm the same way, Siona. I'm always like, well, I'll play a little bit of this one. But I've heard those two DLCs alone are like the best DLCs ever made. Really? CD Projekt Red should probably just go around making the DLCs for everyone's games. That's 2 for 2. Witcher 3 is getting a new DLC this year? Oh, to link into Witcher 4? That's so cool. Undead Nightmare was very good. My favorite's The Citadel. Citadel is the best DLC I've ever played. Yeah, that's how I was, Pubis. Yeah, I overplayed it. Move you guys onto the main screen. I overplayed it too. They have announced it's open everywhere. Oh, that's pretty sick if they do that. It's a tough one to go back to, but yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah, the Citadel is probably my favorite ever DLC in Mass Effect. That shit's so good. It's just such a love letter. I almost wish every big RPG that has like several games does something like that. Blood Moon or Shivering Isles is gonna be a favorite. Shivering Isles up there. What's Blood Moon from? Morrowind? I never did that. What's the worst DLC you've ever played? Oh, shit. I feel like I have an answer here. Yeah, I mean, you could go Horse Armor, but there is Midnight. There is definitely something that I've... Oh my god, what is it? Yeah, I'm worried that one of the worst one I've ever played is probably going to be something I've forgotten about. But I'm sure I bought one and been like, wow, that's made the game worse. See, I can't complain about Oblivion ones because the good ones stand out. Star Wars DLC, maybe Crusader Kings. If you mean like, okay, because we're just saying DLC is downloadable content, not just like story expansion. Yeah, there'll definitely be some awful ones in there. I mean, there's definitely some ones which have been like 20 quid and added like one quest and just giving you some armor. Fallout 3 Mothership Zeta. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that either. But I got the whole collection of the Fallout 3 ones. So I played them together, so I didn't really mind as much, right? Because on the weaker ones, you're like, I don't care. I'm here for loot and I get to the next one. I liked it because it was a break, but it wasn't good. It wasn't like a great... it was cute. It was cute. I think it broke up some of the other ones. I love the one from Fallout New Vegas with Joshua Graham. Mostly because Joshua Graham was such a cool, compelling character. UE4 Leviathan DLC. Yeah, the Grand Canyon one, yeah. He fought for like 6 months. Honest Hearts, yeah, that was good. I don't know. There's definitely a game where I bought one and gone like, I hated that. I can't think what. The only thing worth it, yeah, because I can't remember much of the other bits. He was just a cool character. Must be something made by BioWare. Yeah. The Citadel was good. Let me look at. Can I include an entire game? I didn't like Borderlands pre-sequel. Oh, Borderlands is going to have some bad ones. Hold on. Borderlands DLC. Borderlands is definitely going to have some bad ones. Because some of them are good, but some of Borderlands ones were shite. That was cool. For Dragon Age. Yeah, I couldn't stand the pre-sequel for Borderlands. I'm sure Borderlands had a shit one. I can't remember which one it was. Anything past Borderlands 1 is dog shit. See, I loved Borderlands 2 when it came out. And there's some cool ones in there. You don't like Assault on Dragon Keep? Oh, I thought that one was genius. That was the DLC. That was the Dungeons and Dragons one. Dragon Age came out with Mass Effect, yeah. From Ash's DLC, not because it was bad itself, because the character added like key to the ME3 story and locking behind the DLC was actual shit. That's fair. I don't care for Tina anymore, but I think at the time I liked her. Yeah, I think Borderlands often released a lot of shit DLC. Or ones where you're like, man, that wasn't that exciting. I've definitely had some DLCs where all they've done is added like an arena. I think Dying Light had a bad one. Yeah, I was disappointed in Wonderlands not going full fantasy. I think it could have been a good chance for them to get away from their guns and then done like melee weapons and fun shit like that. If Borderlands had made a fantasy game where like it had a bit directional combat and kind of had fun like that. Mad Max's Underdome was just arena. Yes, yeah, there you go. That'll be my worst one then I would have loved that one more. But it was just kind of like, you know, I get it. Borderlands is as hard shooter, but and they could have done some first person melee stuff that would have been really fun. Yeah, wands and tomes and, you know, yeah. And then, you know, big swords and axes and just had some fun with that kind of stuff. I think it would have been really cool. Most of the Fallout ones, I don't think I played any of the Fallout ones. In fact, I don't think I even completed Fallout 4. I remember really enjoying aspects of it. I hated the building in Fallout, which apparently is a controversial take. I didn't like the any of the building of the town building. You love the building. See, I think it's because I came from so many survival games and so many of them had done it better by that point. Mm. Cheat the building so limited assets. Yeah, that makes sense. Actual faction content for instead of doing repetitive building shit. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the reason I didn't really like the building is because the way that everything was like framed and designed just didn't feel as clean. Like you couldn't really build a very clean looking area. You kind of worked with what you've got. And I think I'd come off survival games big time, and I've seen some people build some unbelievably good looking things and stuff like Conan, with the assets they had. Might have been that. Making a loop with them. I think they could have done. Yeah, I hope if they do a Fallout 5, they make that really clean and good. More factions. That's one thing that Elder Scrolls does so much better than Fallout. It's factions. I mean, Fallout's had some good ones along the way, but nothing like quite as good as like the faction storylines of like the Dark Brotherhood and stuff. I'd love them to take that aspect and give you kind of like. I mean, the Brotherhood steel, I guess, but I wish they kind of slapped as much as the Elder Scrolls ones. I just can almost not imagine what Bethesda's going with new games. On the West Coast? Yeah. Yeah. Easy to develop? Potentially. I feel like there's something lighter about the West Coast as opposed to inland Fallout. Like, thinking about like the Kings. I actually don't. I think you have so much you can do. Right? Like, you could do some crazy ass vault faction, which is, you're going back into the vault and you have to learn how to get into vault society, and they give you missions to get even more embedded. That'd be great. Have one that is like the Kings was in New Vegas. That was a fun idea. You don't want to write fun ones for these, yeah. They just have to go to their stupid Brotherhood of fucking Steel. Yeah, they could definitely have made some crazy good ones. I want to kill everything, yeah. The factions are also gone now on the West Coast anyway. Wait, what do you mean they're gone? Didn't the Fallout TV show just prove that they're not? Like, we still see a bunch of the ones we know. Season Legion being based on the Mormons idea. What's the yeah? Oh, that is yeah. It's so good. And then, honestly, just like being part of the casino was awesome. I love the different casino themes. Oh, on it, Fallout New Vegas is great. The answer seems to be like 30 people in the Legion. Nothing compared to what it used to be size wise. Have you seen all of Fallout Season 2, Sausage? I don't want to spoil it for you, but it doesn't seem to. You have? The ending, I think, was seemed to suggest otherwise. But I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, I've got about 45 minutes to play a game. Or we can just chill out and chat and do some like quizzes and stuff like that. To an extent, a lot of the NCRC appears to be gone. The Legion used to stretch from like New Mexico all the way to Nevada, but they ain't gone. Yeah. 45. Yeah, I'm going to see my parents this weekend. I couldn't go down last weekend, so I'm going to go see my mum for Mother's Day. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be as big, I guess, but it really, in the game, you probably come across 100 Legion dudes total. Steam sale is now. I mean, we can look at it. I don't really. Does anyone really shop on the Steam sales as much anymore? I feel like when they first came out, I'd kind of used those few years to get everything I wanted, and now I'm kind of in the stage where, oh, look at that, spoken about. I'm the stage now where like most of the stuff I've kind of seen. Oh, when's your Mother's Day in the US? Yeah, I've got a big enough backlog. Yeah, I used to spend a lot of money on it. But I feel like nowadays, like a lot of the time I've seen or got the game. And almost all the games yeah, same, Umbo, yeah. It's strange because I remember being so excited for the Steam sales. But then I'd also have a lot of games I just wouldn't purchase. And nowadays it's rather I purchase them or I've lost all interest. Don't go looking for them, yeah. It's kind of sad, man. Even though there's more games than before, it's a strange feeling. It might just be genuinely backlog. Oh, talking of backlog, do you know what I bought? I always, even though I'm going away for one day, right? I'm recognized that I've been staying up till like 6 a.m. I mean, I didn't go to bed till 7 a.m. yesterday. And when I go and see my parents at their place, they're going to go to bed at like 10 latest, right? And I'm realizing that even if I fall asleep at 4, I'm still going to be on my own for 6 hours doing shit all. So I was like, man, I'm gonna download a few games on the... Oh shit, I haven't downloaded more than one game on the Steam Deck, actually. I don't know what else to get other than Slay the Spire 2. I'll download something. And I was like, okay, I got Slay the Spire 2 on my Steam Deck, and then I found my Fire Kindle. I was like, you know what, I should download a book. And I bought the first Mistborn book, because I've been looking to play them. Play them? Read them. And then I bought a book, which I shouldn't have, because it was 20-something quid, because it's got a lot of artwork in it. I bought the 4th World of Warcraft Chronicle book, which I used to love the Chronicles books when they came out because they kind of organized the lore of World of Warcraft. I don't know how good this one will be. They came out 2 years ago, and I was like, wait, I should read this. This would be a fun read. And then I bought the first Diablo book. Long live Chuck Norris? Well, maybe not long live him. I'd say to Chuck Norris, rest. Just rest. Rest in death. You know what I mean? R.I.D. Talk about books all the time. Problem is I never read them. Yeah. Yeah. His memes are great. And I was saying this earlier, I don't wish death on anyone unless they've hurt someone. Right? Like, even if you're a right-wing piece of shit and I disagree with your point of view, death's a sad, lonely thing. It's the loneliest thing that we all experience. And I only really wish it on those who are actively harming others. And I think your words can harm that. Like, you know, when Donald Trump dies, I'll drink to that. When a fucking dictator dies, I'll drink to it. Or when a war criminal dies, I'll drink to it. But someone who's just a piece of shit and probably just had their worldviews completely messed up from whatever weird circles they're in, all I'll say to them is, I won't mourn you, but I won't wish it on you. The same thing 3 times, yeah. If I got the death note, it'd be useless on me. I'm too indecisive for the death note. He'd be coming to me like, who do you want dead? I'm like, well, I'm trying to decide between these 2 dictators. But what if another dictator comes up? I'll just hold on to this for a while. Match backlog, yeah. I need to start reading the Mistborn. The Diablo book, the only reason I got it is because I was like, you know what? I like Diablo lore quite a bit. I don't really like reading video game books because it feels like wasted reading. And 1 use. Yeah, don't you only get 10 uses? Or some shit? Unlimited? Oh. But I thought I'd read the Diablo one because I wanted to kind of get a bit of inspiration for more gothic writing, and I couldn't think of a good. But I think you might like the second part of the series, the Allies of Law, even better. Second part of Mistborn series, yeah, yeah. Because I stopped reading Stormlight Archive. I'll get back to it, but it's super magical, right? Wait, isn't there another magical book that begins with M that I really wanted to check out? Magical book, fantasy, begins with M. Malazan, is that right? Yeah, Malazan. That's meant to be good, right? Magical Girls. Moan Piece, yep. You'll hate it? I'm not going to read it then. What's up, Albie? It's dense, is it? Right, based on D&D campaign, yeah. I wanted to get some like inspirational writing for like fantasy stuff where I'm like, oh, that's cool, and you know, take on some aspects of that. So I was looking for some like good heavy fantasy with monsters and fucking magic and some dark shit. What's up, Kim? Yeah, I was just talking about some books. I'll buy Malazan too then. But I wanna sit down and read some like big fantasy. Read Discworld when I was younger, yeah. But I don't think Discworld would really inspire me to make anything gothic. Probably the opposite. I could reread Discworld. Maybe I'll... Oath 43. No, the intro ones, because I played the game. It was the first game I ever played. Max was obsessed with those books, the Malazan ones. Yeah, they seem like a good read. I would like to read I'll read those, and then I'm trying to think of I want high fantasy, but something a little bit more rather political or gothic, a little bit dark, maybe a little bit Bloodborne-y, you know? Something that gives me a bit more of a, oh, shit. Now, as much as I like the Stormlight Archive, it's a bit kiddie. Well, not kiddie, it's a bit light. I want that feeling again where I remember reading the Red Wedding for the first time and literally throwing the book down, being like, this fucking sucks. How fucking dare he? Walking away and then coming back an hour later being like, I've got to see where it goes. And I want to get that again. Joe Abercrombie's for you. No, I want it has to be both. It has to be both. I want fantasy, a lot of fantasy. At least creatures and shit like that. I want to be lost in someone else's world. Majorly Grimdark. Okay, Locked Tomb. I bought the Diablo one, but I'm not like the monk. I don't know, probably not. I bought the Diablo book, but I don't really like I said, I don't really like reading video game books. I mean, one of the worst books I've ever read is the Halo book. Half of the book was half the book was cool ODST, worse than the show. The first book, yeah. I believe it's the first book, yeah. Was it the first book? It was the one based around the same time as the... Yes, the second book then. Was the first book the Fall of Reach one or the other one? The first book, I think, was good. There was one book, though, if it was the second one, half of it was this ODST perspective that was cool, and it showed you aspects of the game you never really picked up on. You're like following the storyline of these ODST people who are expendable. Half the book was written from the perspective of Master Chief as he plays the video game. It was like having the video game scenes written for you. That's the one, that was good. And then the second book is the one that I hated, yeah. And I just remember being like, what? I just started skipping his chapters because I was like, this is literally someone describing a video game playthrough. It was so weird. Different author, that makes sense because I remember the Fall of Reach one being good. I remember seeing John as a kid being good. It was quite brutal. Like, it stuck with me that he fucking I think he kills a bunch of ODST people bullying him in the I call Thorns and Roses. Oh, I've heard about this. It's a popular adult fantasy series. Lots of sex, huh? Spartan trainings are when they had to augment him, yeah. Romantasy. Is that actually is that actually a good suggestion? A court Thorns and Roses. Or is it just slutty? Nah, it's smart. Okay. Castle would my go-to form to gothic inspiration. Do you want me to be honest? I can't bother to read shit like Frankenstein. Couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a shit. To me, it's like if someone said to them, like, they want some classic movies, I'm going to give them 80s. I'm going to give them 1980s over anything to do with, like, Citizen Kane and shit. Brave take? No, but I mean, like if I'm asking for books, I know specifically what I want to go for and what I'd get into. I couldn't give a shit about reading Dracula, Frankenstein, anything old. Couldn't give a shit. It's a very uncultured response, but at the same time, I think a lot of people would agree. A lot of people would be like, Lord of the Rings is old. Different. The classics for a reason. Okay. Then go and watch. Okay, if someone came to you and said, if I said movie suggestions, give me some movie suggestions for some great stories, and I was like, watch Citizen Kane, Casablanca, Gone with the Wind. I'm sure they're not bad, but I want some, give me something broader. Give me something big, broad fantasy of the modern era. Why so many romance or fantasy books just outright smart, like some of those best-selling women's books are so freaky? Because, people be horny. Well, Citizen Kane's not a good watch in the modern world. It's fine if you want to see techniques, but it's super outdated. Make it so much easier to read. Yeah. I feel like you'd enjoy Crimson Desert. You lost your damn mind. Or if someone said, like, give me some fancy video game suggestions, and you start dropping, like, Golden Axe. You know what I mean? Trend right now for modern fantasy, is it? Maybe I should write some romantasy. I reckon I could write some dirty shit. I thought about that as an OnlyFans. The flesh bit? No. Interested in checking those out, most because they're not smutty. Is there actually like a romantasy that's really fucking in depth with cool world building, etc.? I've Jinx proofreader. I actually thought about it with an OnlyFans. Do you know what'd be really fucking sick? Artists who wants to go 50-50 with me on an OnlyFans where you draw sexy shit and then I write it. Chuck Norris is dead. He died back in 1997, I think. A smart comic, yeah, but I think we could do good. You already have a lady for that? For what? No sign yet. Wait, smart art isn't allowed on OnlyFans? How do you know this, Naghetto? But also, what do you mean? No, I've got too many subscriptions right now, Sarah. Should I write stories and want to make some comics specifically? You can read more than one. That makes no fucking sense. You're telling me you can go full, like, boobies out, your ass out, titty, penis out, but they're like, no, don't you draw. Furries aren't allowed on Fansly? Yeah, it makes sense to get it. I would do it if I was an artist. The best I could do is a stick man with a giant penis. Yeah, all those OnlyFans. Honestly, my subscription, I looked today at my bank and I was like, wait a minute, how much did I lose last month? Oh my God, what the? I subscribed to like 20 things. Real person behind the... has to do with depicting real person behind the account. Oh, okay. Weird though. What if I sit there and I read it? What would that be allowed on OnlyFans? Like this, I write a sexy book and I go like Charles Dance. His hand caressed her tight thigh. You know, that could do good. Maybe I'll do that. Sexy readings. Yeah, suit with some wine, little fireplace. And I go. And then she pegged him. You know, that sounds good. Could do that here? No, you could not. You get banned off Twitch for doing that here. You can't do that on Twitch. All right. Steam sale. I don't know if there's a game that I want to play. How are you only 30% off Tales of the Shire? Come on. I don't know if there's any games that I would want to buy. I completed Scritchy Scratchy, by the way, chat. I completed that night. I had to know. Yeah, I just don't think there's any games that I'm like on my like super to buy list. It was a cookie clicker. Final Fantasy. How much off is it? I'll be honest, the reason I won't buy Final Fantasy now is not because I don't want to play it. I do want to play through Final Fantasy 7. I just think by the time I get to this game, right? By the time I actually get to streaming this game or playing it, it'll probably be 90% off. So I might as well just hold. I'm not looking to play it anytime soon. So if I just hold 3 sales time, 4 sales time, 5 sales time. You think it would tank the stream? Yeah, it's one of those weird ones. It's rather going to be... Did you play Remake? No, I've never played anything Final Fantasy. Outside of the MMO briefly. Part 3 is next year. Yeah, there's an argument that people who've never played Final Fantasy 7 or any Final Fantasy playing Final Fantasy 7 is a big selling point for a stream, but maybe only the first couple. Indiana Jones game, yeah. I need to play Expedition 33. Did you watch the first LOL UK episodes? Yeah, it's great. Nah. Trademark, I just said I've never played a Final Fantasy game except for the MMO. That includes Final Fantasy 16 and 15, 13, 12. Well, 13's the one, right? 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Tactics. Long I've heard that. Meta-narrative bullshit? Oh. Yeah, I liked Last One Laughing. Season 2 is great. I mean, that show's just great in general. It's just so silly and wonderful. I love the way people try not to laugh in that show. David Mitchell was cracking me up in it. He's like, See, that is quite humorous. And I see what you've done there. And then he like has to lock his face. It's very funny. The clip you showed us? Yeah. Yeah, very worth watching. Doesn't mean the same as it does with other games. Interesting. As it is, yeah, it's so good. I know some people that don't like it, right? Because they don't get that. They're expecting the comedians to go and then just whip out jokes all the time, but a lot of it is just silly. Like, they're actively trying hard to make someone laugh over something stupid. Sam Campbell, yeah, the young guy. Yeah, he's funny. Resident Evil 0. What the fuck is Resident Evil 0? Dude, it's, you know what's funny? I was watching Bree the other day talk about the Resident Evil story. She does her deep dives into these games. And she's doing Resident Evil right now. And she was like, I love it. I think she was being nice. I love it, but this makes no sense. This makes no sense. And some of the Resident Evil fans were going crazy. They're like, well, no, it does if you do this. Dude, the Resident Evil storyline is so bad. It's so bad. It's such a strange thing because the storytelling is good, but it is so stupidly convoluted and nothing really makes sense. Like, people always bring up the Punch Boulder, but genuinely, the open storyline just is like, it makes sense, it's just weird. Not really. I'll be honest with you, a lot of it doesn't actually make sense. It contradicts itself. It's so convoluted. Everything is like constant. It feels like competitive writers. It just don't take it seriously. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's so stupid, and they have to kind of like, yeah, the retcons. Yeah, they have to try and do anything they can to link things together. They become so ridiculous. The remakes do. The only problem with the remakes is they've started to connect way too much with the old ones again. I think 7 was genuinely a good storyline. Yeah, they just keep trying to fit Wesker in. They can't get over. And then suddenly our favorite guy appears. They love doing it. It's so stupid. Yeah, 7 was great. Really, really good. And then 8 was weird, but fun. RE9 is, so far from what I've seen, I haven't seen much of it. Really cool setting. Absolutely batshit stupid storyline to begin with. I was saying to Jinx yesterday, I was like, the game opens, without spoiling anything really, with you getting sent to this place where your mother got killed. In a really brutal way. And you're like... And I was confused. I was in her chat being like, why is the boss sending a desk jockey to do this? Like, what? She doesn't... With no backup. They go to a crime scene. There's one cop outside the crime scene. The whole place is like locked down. I don't even know why she's there at night on her own. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But it's fun. No, don't tell me. But I don't think they can come up with any answer. I mean, even if he is working with the bad guys, nothing is going to make actual sense. You're still going to be like, why would she go and do that? Why would she not question this? They've got a protocol there. They learn this stuff. This doesn't make much sense. It's very funny though. It's very funny. Oh yeah, it's like watching. Yes, exactly. Where you have to extend your belief. But it's very funny seeing someone like Bree go through, who's gone through all these massive story games which really do care about the story. And I do think Resident Evil cares, but it's kind of funny because they care so much. Instead of just going, fuck it. You know what? We don't care. They kind of really do try to link everything together. And it makes it way funnier because it's like, oh, okay, that's how you're linking that? Sure, okay, let's go with it. So seeing her play through it is very funny because she'll go from like Mass Effect, which I think Mass Effect phenomenal at building its world. Really took the extra, depth to make sure everything kind of fit. And she went through the whole journey of like learning everything together. And then seeing her do something like this is very funny. It's just so like, and then this causes this to happen. And there's actually 7 viruses because this virus actually causes that virus to do this virus, and that virus is this virus. The T virus is actually just a bit of a, and you're like, what's going on? And then they really want to make sure everything links. Everything's got a link inside. It's just so funny. But that's what also I agree with you, Levo. It's very entertaining because of that. I will say this about Resident Evil 9. From what I was watching of Jinx play, it reminded me of Paranormal Activity. In that, when I saw Paranormal Activity in the cinema, I thought it was a genius horror movie because there was this really weird feeling. I can't let Jeff to sit there and accept her else, so that's fair. That's good. Just because I kept making fun of that all and reasons things happen. Yeah, I mean, because she's managed to get a really, really amazing thing going with her stream where she'll have her usual like 400 viewers, right? And every game she plays, well, she's grown even bigger, right? She started like 200 to 300 viewers that were her viewership. But she played like Mass Effect, and suddenly like 500 more people come in. Now, after Mass Effect's done, say a few hundred of those people leave. Maybe 100 or so will stick around to go to the next game. Then 500 new ones come in for Dragon Age. 100, and so it keeps growing her channel. But you draw in a good like 20% who are just there because they want to see someone's reaction to their favorite games, right? It's very smart, very clever of her. She's rebranded really well. And they do not want to hear. They want to see someone love their shit. And I get it. You bring someone into your fandom, you want to see them adore it. So it's very, very funny to wind those people up because they really, like I'll get wound up about stuff I love, right? So it's a good time to poke fun of it. But yeah, so I was saying about Paranormal Activity. When I went and watched Paranormal Activity in the cinema, it had this unique atmosphere where, if you've never seen the movie, every night they have the camera set up in a really annoyingly kind of stressful way where the door is open and they're lying in frame and the time at the bottom right of the camera is speeding up, and then suddenly it starts to go to real time, and something bad is about to happen. It could be weird shit at the door. It could be her getting up. Really, really creepy, right? Everyone's silent and stressed out at night, right? But then when the daytime comes, everyone started talking. People were just talking in the cinema like it was a restaurant. You could still hear the movie, but it was this kind of comfort thing. And you might think that sounds crazy and annoying, but it felt great. It was this really unique atmosphere where everyone was kind of like having to deal with their cope being so anxiety driven and stressed at the nighttime. And as soon as nighttime came again, people go, I mean, by the mid-time of the daytime, they'd quieten down as well. They just needed something to get them out there going, oh my God, did you see that thing there? And the nighttime came and they become stressed again. And the reason it was clever is if you just made the movie just about nighttime, you would lose that stress. It would naturally go out. You can only get scared so many times in a row before you lose that stress. And so it managed to break that up. And it made it so like you could always get stressed in that recovery time. Yeah. And I love that about the movie. I think Paranormal Activity is a great movie because of that, right? A lot of horror games don't have that break. For example, when I start up not Paranormal, what's that? That game with the ghosts, the one, you'll say it in a second, I'm sure. And you go into the house, you have to talk to them. When I first start that game up, I'm shitting a brick. Phasmophobia. My heart is beating, and I'm going. But by the time we're a couple hours in, I might get a little freaked out. But I'm walking around on my own. So, all those games you have to go and collect stuff, like the one we played a couple months ago, like Mark and stuff, and Dodger. Like you start to lose that, right? And I'm someone I get so much anxiety with horror games, but it leaves, right? Why'd you difficult when you're scared? Creepy Uncle Joe. I can't even remember where that fucking came from. And so like that go fades. Whereas Resident Evil 9, to bring it all back round, has done with Paranormal Activity. The grace scenes are creepy as fuck, scary, genuinely stressful, and it cuts to Leon. Oh, as you enjoyed playing way back when? Yeah, that was fucking ages ago. So stressful. And then you get to the Leon section, and you're like, oh, these stupid things. Fuck you. Yeah, palate cleanser. Great little action scenes. And some of them are really cool, by the way. There's like an actual like little bit of an outbreak, mini outbreak scene. I was like, you don't ever really get to see that in most of the Evil games. And then you go straight back to Grace. And so far, at least, it has managed to make Grace 10 times scarier because you never get used to her. I'm sure you do later on. But they just made it too scary for me. Yeah. Yeah. Genuinely, though, like, such a clever game. Yeah, they switch between first and third to show. Yeah, like, because third person is just innately not as scary. Just really cool. You feel safe for a bit? I think Resident Evil 8 was less scary once you get out of the castle. But genuinely, like, such a cool design for the game. I said to Jinx, I've got to catch up on her VOD and watch it over tonight because I'm very invested now. Really? You don't like the first? See, I think first person makes a game way scarier. Oh, but because that's why, I'm guessing. Yeah. I mean, I watch it as movies. Benevito. Oh, yeah, that's true, Swippin. Yeah. I'm mostly thinking of that whole water section with the fish and stuff. That completely is not. I mean, there's a scary element there, but it's more tense and, oh, is it going to come out of the ground? Has her tripping a lot? I've heard that too. She trips a lot? That's fucking funny. Is that just to... Why have they done that? Just to have it, like... Otherwise you'd look too competent? First person motion, yeah. Dealing with the father and RE7 having exaggerated. Yeah, RE7's so fucking creepy. Among other animations, should be too fast. Ah. See handshake. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Even with tripping, she's faster. Oh, really? Well, that's interesting. I've been enjoying this because I've been putting Leon into other horror franchises. He's becoming way more superhero. I mean, he was already pretty semi like along that lines, but he's way more superhero in this one, which is quite fun. Yeah, true action star, yeah. He's a total fucking badass. You made it to the Final Fantasy 14 subreddit, really? He's a good looking character. A real Chuck Norris is really funny, considering he's not real. Kills a clicker, guess that was the last of you? Nice. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, but I don't know, I've been enjoying watching Jinx play. It's really, like, you are right. The story in this game is so shite, but I love the fact that they try to make it work in all of these games. Because there's really compelling moments. So when I say the story, I mean the overarching story as opposed to the actual active story. Like, there's a lot of good intrigue there where you're like, I'm invested. And then you kind of find out some of the answers. You're like, that makes no sense, but I was invested on the way. And the voice acting's fantastic, yeah. Are you going to play the new 300-hour game? 300-hour? What's that? Crimson Desert? No, we already had like an hour conversation about this. I don't think I've got any interest in it. Performance category so far? Stop playing it. I thought I was in the song for a second there. Yeah, I was saying this earlier. I was having this big discussion about it that I think Crimson Desert would need one of the two things for me: a story or big RPG mechanics. And I'm not getting two worlds again. It's what Tool Area Village, but for women. It's funny to see that happen again. Yeah, he's very good looking. He reminds me of Peter Petrelli's actor. Controls are designed by someone who's never played a game, really. Yeah, I've heard there's some really weird ones with the controls. Looks max and build, yeah. Oh, talking of that stuff, did you guys see Piers Morgan walk off his own show? It was like villain versus villain. No. So there's this clip around, right? Essentially, I don't like Piers Morgan. He's a piece of shit. But sometimes Piers Morgan, well, no, hold on, Grim, because that might be misinformation. Sometimes Piers Morgan gets someone on that is a bigger piece of shit than him, and so you're kind of like, well, let them fight. Let them fight. But usually, Piers Morgan always puts them into a corner and bullies them in a corner, and he does this with everyone on his show, and interrupts them, makes them look like an idiot, and then cuts them off. Right? Typical kind of arsehole journalism. He gets on HS Tiki Toki from that new Manosphere documentary by Louis Theroux. And this guy is a chud, and he is and he's an arsehole, piece of shit. But it was fucking funny because he managed to actually HST2. He actually managed to rile up Piers Morgan. Now, Piers Morgan, Morgan's wife, she posts some horny stuff, but people have assumed that she must be in an open marriage, but it's not necessarily the case. I don't think there's any evidence for it. It's just that she might make horny jokes. Like when you're mad, like she took a picture of like a hot dude in Speedos washing a car and was like, when the man's away, the other boy comes out to play. Hashtag, it was like hashtag sexism. Hashtag men are not objects. Hashtag use me like one though. That kind of stuff, right? So she's typing like a horny housewife. Yeah, and she did the open for pool boy applications one. She was like, you can come over here, that kind of stuff, right? So, Soap Daddy, yeah. Soap Daddy was used in there. She types horny stuff. So people have assumed that they're in open marriage. It might just be that she's a bit cheeky with it and whatnot. But, and I don't necessarily agree with him using external woman who has nothing to do with it to piss off Piers Morgan. But at the same time, it is pretty funny to insult Piers Morgan. I hope she doesn't get much harassment out of this. She's done nothing wrong. You can be horny. That's fine. But it is funny to see Piers Morgan get wound up because he walks off his own show. Well, so what's really strange about this, by the way, he's saying that Piers Morgan's pushing his homophobic narrative. He says in the documentary that he's homophobic. Like, he says, I am homophobic. He does look like a GTA character. So I don't know why he was arguing with that bit anyway. He literally says he wouldn't let his son be gay. So it's very strange. But this is the bit that matters. Yeah, they're just two chuds arguing. That's your thing, bro. Like, You. He walked off his own show. How do you walk off your own show? Like, he must have really got under his skin. So this is kind of just like, this is genuinely to me like throwing two monsters into the same pit and letting them fight. You know, both are dangerous. This is Jason versus Freddy Krueger. You know what I mean? This is just let them fight. Leopards eating faces. Yeah, exactly. It's just, well, yeah. I mean, it must be that he really got under his skin and he just couldn't even sit there and continue his show. But crazy. Yeah, it's that's one of the things that happened this weekend. But that H's Tiki Toki is a twat. The entire portion of him Louis through is fucking gross. He's a piece of shit. Have you seen the Afro Man stuff? Yes, it's fucking awesome. Yes, it's awesome. Afro Man stuff, I don't know if I have much time to go through it, but if you've not seen the Afro Man stuff, check this out, chat. Afro Man had some officers break into his house illegally, but, you know, qualified immunity and all that bullshit. And he made a music video and he included clips of these officers from breaking into his house. And he made songs. So they had to play these in... This was a long time ago? No, but the court just happened. It's so good. So they were suing him for doing that, and he won. Son of a bitch. Ooh. It's so good. Yeah. And then there's this amazing interview here. You lying piece of shit copper. Like, this is such like typical. It reminds me of GTA cops, man. They're great rapper. Like, I don't know. Could be. Just because he knows he knows he has to stick to that statement. Otherwise, he knows he's going to lose defamation. I mean, he lost it anyway, and now he looks like a piece of shit. Such pieces of shit, man. They're just upset about a fucking use of free speech, and then they went after him. But the annoying thing is, he can't really. I mean, supposedly the argument is that they stole money from him as well, $400 after trashing his home, and he can't really sue them or take them to court. There won't be any counter suing, etc. Saying I don't know fucks him. I don't know if that's true. I think literally the line of questioning fucked him more so than if he said yes. If he said no, it doesn't. If he said no, it doesn't really matter either. He's fucked either way. The line of questioning already puts him into a position where he believes that defamation is saying something as akin to I fucked your wife. Yeah, he probably did make the money back for making the songs, it's true. And it's only got more popular. Yeah, but saying I don't know leaves the ambiguity of it. He still implied that he doesn't know, so it could happen. It doesn't really, saying untrue things. Yes. But you have to have had some element of belief there. I think the line of questioning is already fucked. I mean, they kind of went into this knowing it'd be fucked. Defamation is always like the hardest thing to improve. The best answer is no, yeah. I don't think you had a really correct way out of this because it was all stupid. It's just whether they had a corrupt judge or jury, and they didn't. Very stupid. Very stupid. Very funny, though. The whole thing was really good. Yeah, she cried. It's so good. Just her sat there and crying. Pathetic. Just pathetic. Like, genuinely pathetic. Like, oh my God, you're a police officer. Pull yourself together. So good, though, that he won it, and now you can just continue to piss them off with it. And those songs, what's the best part about this, to me, is they've made him infinitely more famous on those songs. There's so many people who didn't know who Afro Man was, and now they do. So good. All right. Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's so good. I saw so many comments being like, I don't know who this guy is, but this is fucking awesome. It makes me so happy to see them all see him get even more success, because he's so funny. He's such a funny person in general. All right, I'm going to see you guys over to Jinx. She's playing some Resident Evil 9. Sorry for the short stream today, chat. I'm going up to see my parents for the day, and Jinx is going to have her mum around for the day. So I'll be back on Sunday for Sunforged. Thanks everyone for coming out. I've got to go and quickly pack the rest of my bag and then shoot to the station. So I'll see you guys on